Okay, so it looks like recording. I'm Doggie Diamonds. This is Doggie Diamonds No Filter. This is part two to my last interview with Minister, well, Dr. Enqi. I gotta get used to saying Dr. Enqi because everybody's
You know what? It's cool because my demeanor and what we have been programmed to think of as a doctor is they're so far separate.
got you.
That is cool. you know what I'm saying? Like I always say, my favorite attribute is that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm cool. Everything else a bonus.
Okay, so we left off last time. We spoke about the vaccines. We spoke about the milk situation between yourself and Wesley Muhammad. Now, I did wanted to ask you, after we did the thing, I did get some phone calls. Not gonna put nobody out there, but I did get some phone calls, and you also text me something, and somebody had mentioned to me that you stole Polite's laptop before, and you impersonated his wife or something like that on the internet. Can you? What is that all about?
Right. Now, see, that's an intricate story.
Okay.
And to keep it 100 with you, I never told the story. Like, I watch, like, I just sit back and watch sometimes. You know what I'm saying? My father taught me play fool or catch the wise. So sometimes I just sit back.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through something in the conscious community that changed my view of how I seen people. So I don't want you to think I'm avoiding the question. We're gonna get all the way into the
I'm about to
story.
say because I'll bring it right back if you try to go somewhere else. But go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, I'll bring it right back on you. But go ahead though.
So I had actually went through a situation with another brother in the community
Uh huh.
and lost a $225,000 house
Mm.
with that phony, that baloney paperwork, sovereignty, this, that whole bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when I stepped out, I was the first person in the community to step out and say, "Yo, that paperwork shit is a fraud. That shit is fake. Like, the videos are still out there." I was the first one to say, "Listen, I was hurt by that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
literally, you know what I'm saying? I lost my house where I lived at. It wasn't like a play game. Like, it wasn't no. It was a real thing for me." And I came out and I was like, "Yo, let me warn the people. Like, yo, don't believe this paperwork shit. It's gonna hurt you."
So two things really quick. When we curse, YouTube get on some funny stuff. So let's try to refrain from cursing. Uh, and the other thing is that so you have to explain to people where you living somewhere and you end up losing your house, or you invested into this paperwork that many other people did allegedly and lost their home. So explain that because you're saying you lost your house. Was you living somewhere already and you lost it,
I
or
was living in the house
okay?
and then got into the paperwork thing and bought into the whole idea of the birth certificate, UCC, so the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
pack.
yeah.
And so when I came to the people, you know what I'm saying, I still get a little, so that's where the language gets colorful, you know what I'm
Got you,
saying? But
got you.
but because it really was crazy, and it wasn't even the material. It was what happened after I came to the people and I told everybody on my blog talk. Blog talk was the vibe before it was
Facts,
YouTube. Everybody
facts.
was on blog. So I'm like, yo, it's don't do it. You're gonna lose your crib, your house. Don't be careful. Everybody said, "Oh my God, Enqi's a hater.
Mm.
Enqi's a hater. He's hating. He hating. He don't want to see nobody else come up and whoop whoop whoop." And I had my website at the time, 33rddynasty.com. People stopped buying from my website. People stopped supporting my little videos. Everybody said I was a hater. The platforms, the people, everybody did this.
Mm.
Everybody turned their back, right? So what I do, I'm in the middle of a real situation with my family, so I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Money wasn't really a issue as much at that time. So it was easy for me to go ahead and take care of what I needed to take care of and handle my business. You know, we were situated. And when I came back with my new website, my new business, started writing my books again, teaching, coming back into the community, I said, okay, cool. This go round, I'm gonna keep my lip zipped next time.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what happens? 12 months, 18 months, 24 months after that,
Mm-hmm.
everybody in the community starts complaining that they're putting money up into this paperwork. And guess what's happening? They're calling it a scam. They're saying it's a fraud. They're saying they're getting ripped off. And they're looking at me. They looking at me saying, yo, you sitting right up there on the platform. How can you let this happen?
Mm.
Why aren't you saying anything? And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. I told y'all didn't listen.
Mm.
In fact, y'all turned y'all back on me when I told y'all what the deal was. So how dare you turn back around to me and say, how come I didn't say something? How come you didn't listen? Hosea 4:6, my people are dying for lack of knowledge because they rejected knowledge. And we live in a digital footprint world. So when I'm saying these things, all of these things can be verified. They can go check the digital footprint, right? Now, on the last video, right? And this is all in answering your question. On the last video, right? I want to show people something real quick. Because on the last video, when I said I came in with the swag, it was like, oh, you see, he hating again. That's Enqi. That's Enqi. He hating. I said, man, hold on, man. Y'all tripping, B. Let me deal with these things once and for all, because I know that people created a narrative, a false narrative, but the false narrative benefited them, so they let the narrative stay in circulation. So I have to deal with it. You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you see what this is. This is Polight's YouTube page.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I have it sorted oldest to newest. So this is his first video on his YouTube page.
You're not gonna play none of his videos, right? Because he
Nah.
could.
I'm not gonna play none of them.
Okay.
I don't have to.
Okay.
Right? But I'm just giving people a timeline, and this goes into the laptop story.
Got you.
And this even goes into the King Simon story, how me and King Simon got off onto the wrong foot.
Got
right?
you.
Okay, so you see right about here, the Supreme Mathematics Part 1. In fact, it's actually a little bit before this. Somewhere around here is where I meet Polight. Somewhere around the melanin, like right before this melanin video, reactivating your melanin. Right before this is where I meet Polight.
Okay.
And when I meet Polight, just like everybody else in the community, like I said, I'm up. I'm making 80K plus a year, Range Rover, black, peanut butter interior. So I'm up. I'm not coming in with my hand out or in a situation. I'm coming in looking at people that I feel like is intelligent, that I believe in. I finally finding a circle of people that's trying to go in the direction I'm going in. So in my mind, I'm trying to help people as much as possible, because it looks like this group of people has everything but money. And I got that. So I'm like, okay, well, this can work. So at this lecture here, I paid for this lecture. Supreme Mathematics.
And how long ago was this?
It's 9 years. You can see under the lecture.
So 9 years ago was when this happened, because sometimes we upload things after it happened. So
Yeah.
this was 9 years ago. So when this happened, you uploaded it 9 years ago. He uploaded it rather.
Correct. No, this is his lectures. I'm just showing the timeline.
Got you. Okay.
Because when I meet these people, like I'm saying, I'm up money-wise.
Got you.
So when I meet Polight, we hit it off right away, because I had written a book that I shopped to a bunch of publishers, and the publishers wouldn't print my book. they said it's too racy, too controversial. So one day at an Ali Muhammad class, Polight comes to the class, he does a little thing, and at the end of the class, he says he writes and prints his own books. So at the end of that class, I walked up to him like, yo, I got a book. How much it costs for you to print it? Shot him the bread on the spot. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we created our relationship. So he comes to me with this idea for these lectures, like, yo, you know, the venue costs this amount, blah, blah, blah. I'm about to do the books and the food. You know, if you put up this amount of money, I'm going to give you right back this amount of money. So no problem, let's do it. So that happens for this lecture, right? That happens for the next lecture, which is sacred geometry, right? That happens for that lecture. That happens for the Kemet mystery lecture. So I'm funding these lectures, these early lectures. So, but the bread is funny at the end of the lecture. I'm not getting the money I'm supposed to get back. At the end of each lecture, he's telling me, like, you know, listen, man, and, you know, hold on, we got a double counting, and this happening, that happening. So he's building a tab with me. You following so far? Now, real quick, I'm going to show you where me and King Simon met. This sacred geometry lecture right here. Right here, here's one video. That's part one. And here's part two. If you look right here where my mouse is, this is a doorway. And this is where King Simon had his little table set up, collecting the money to get in. He didn't know who I was. So when I come into the event, he at the door like, yo, let me see your ticket, it's $20. And I just like pushed right past him and keep on walking, and then step onto the stage. I don't turn to the right to go get a seat. I walk right up on the stage behind Polight. If you look at me, you see me right here standing behind Polight on stage. With the suit on. That's me with the dreads right here. See, people don't remember me with the dreads. So I'm standing here with the suit on. I got the the Gucci tie, the hard bottoms, gaiters. Like, so this is what I'm saying. When I say I came in with the swag, and nobody was on that yet. So the people that's saying I'm hating on Polight by saying that, you can clearly see what he's wearing at this time when he's lecturing. You can clearly see me standing behind him on the stage as he's lecturing in a whole different type of outfit, right? And the reason why I'm standing on the stage is because I'm looking at how the event is going. I'm counting the seats to see how much money we're making. You understand what I'm saying? So fast forward, we done created this situation, and now he has a tab with me, right? So now we get to the laptop story. Make sure y'all can see me for the story.
Yes, we see you.
Okay, hold on, I don't see y'all. Okay, bam. All right, so put down my pad. So he's built up at this time. It's about $2,300 he owed me. So he tells me, listen, I got this thing going on. You know, I'm about to move into real estate and start doing these timeshares. And what I'm doing is I'm going into it with a group. So it's going to be a group of us that's going to go into this investment. Now, if you want, I could pay you back your bread, or I can take your bread as an investment in this real estate, and you'll be a part of the company. You know, you'll be a part of the company we forming. Woo, woo, woo. So I'm like, bro, I really want you to pay me back. However, it's easiest for you to pay me back. You understand what I'm saying? So if you want to do with the timeshare and all that, let's do it. He said, all right, well, cool. I'm getting ready to go down to Florida. You could roll with us. We're going to jump in the truck. We could roll down to Florida, and you can be with us while we do all the paperwork and all that, so you can make sure you see everything is whatever. So he says, be down in my house I forgot what day it was, but be at my house at like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. We're going to drive out from Brooklyn. So now I come from the Bronx on the train. Listen to this shit here. I come from the Bronx on the train with 2+ weeks worth of luggage. I got clothes enough for 2 weeks, but then I also got another bag with like electronics in it, like my laptops, my camera, so I could get footage and film and broadcast and all that. And then I also got another little bag that I'm carrying with books and herbs and all that to sell when we get down there, because we're gonna do a lecture down there or whatever at the same time. So I get to his crib, and I'm gonna be honest, you know what I'm saying? I know you're a BK guy, but from the Bronx, we always thought a certain type of way about BK guys. You know
what's that? Like, what we talking about here? What's happening?
We just always thought BK guys was like, you know what I mean? Like BK guys would get you if they could get you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a fact. Yeah,
that's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's not, if you know, yeah.
So anyway, I get down to his crib, knowing how the point of me making that Brooklyn reference is because when he told me be at his crib like 10, 11, we're going to roll out. I made it my business to be at his crib by 7:30 in the morning.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that way I'm super early just to make sure that if anything, like just to make sure, because mind you, I'm supposed to be getting my money back for these events after each event. And after each event, it's a story and a breakdown about how I could get peace now and peace later, et cetera, et cetera. So when it's time to go, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to just make sure I do it this way. So that way, I kind of cover all grounds. I get down there. I take the train to Brooklyn. I got so much luggage. I got to take a cab from the train up the block to his house.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up there, and because it's so early in the morning, when I'm knocking on the door and nobody's answering, I'm assuming, right? Because at this time in my mind, I'm not thinking nothing funny. I'm assuming that everybody's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm banging. Take out my phone, ringing the phone. It's going to voicemail. So I'm like, all right, maybe I overthought myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, maybe I overthought myself. I shouldn't have fucking got down here so early. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played myself. I should have waited till 10, 11. So let me lug this shit around the corner, grab some little coffee and, hot chocolate or a tea or something, a bagel. Like, let me just walk to the store real quick. So I let an hour pass. I start calling the phone again, and hitting the door. Boom, 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 boom. No answer either one. I go across the street, hit the pay phone. I ring the pay phone. Instead of calling Polight, I call Aminette phone. Aminette picks up on the first ring. As soon as I say my name, like the phone start like bumbling and boom, boom, boom. And then after a few seconds, click, it hangs up.
Mm.
Put some more change in, call right back. Same thing happens. So now I'm thinking they inside the crib, not answering the door for me. So now I go back to the crib. I'm banging on the door. Boom, 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 boom. The owner of the house comes down because Polight and them was renting the first floor.
Mm-hmm.
So the owner of the house comes down. He like, yo, what's going on? You've been banging on the door all morning. I'm like, yo, I'm looking for Polight. He like, yeah, I know who you are. Been seeing you here the past few months. I know what you got going on. What happened? You ain't give them no money, did you? I was like, what you mean? I ain't giving them no money. Yeah, I gave them, I gave them a lot of money. He was like, man. What, you didn't know what they do? I thought you was down with them.
Mm.
And so when he says that, I'm just sitting out there on my luggage, and he like, yeah, this is what they do. They owe me a couple of months. I'm holding all their stuff in here till they come back to pay me my money. I'm like, well, they went to go get some real estate and woo. So he was like, nah, man, that ain't what's going on. I told them they had to go if they didn't have my money. So he said, do you want to take something from here? Because they left all their printing stuff. And maybe you can use that to sell it or do whatever you got to do to get your money back. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel for you. And so I was like, I got all this luggage. I can't really carry nothing. So he invited me in the crib. He said, come in, sit down. If you got to use the bathroom, do what you got to do. It's a shame, brother, that, woo, woo, woo. And he started like telling me this story about whatever he had went through. And while I was in the crib, I looked over and I seen the laptop, the quote unquote laptop that I stole.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, actually, I will get that laptop. Let me get that laptop right there. He was like, why you want that? That's broken. What you gonna do with that? That ain't, because the laptop in question didn't really have no buttons on it, like it was broken.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, no. They use that as a hard drive. They don't use that as a laptop anymore. That's the laptop that has all his books on it. So he's definitely coming back for that, if nothing else. So he said, well, you're more than welcome to take it with you, brother. And I took that laptop with me and left. Took the cab to the train, took the train back up to the Bronx and chilled. 2 days later, I get a phone call. Hey, man, yeah, such and such happened and woo, woo, woo. He ran down a long story to me. All right, cool. Yeah, hit me back when you get to NY. A couple weeks pass, he gets back to New York. Calls me up. Yo, you got my laptop? I'm down here. The landlord said, you got my laptop and blah, 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 blah. Rah-rah. Like, it was super aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, of course I got your laptop. But you got my money.
Mm-hmm.
You got my money. So when you give me my money, I'll give you back the laptop. And so it was like, yeah, I got the boys down here, and you better not do this, you better not do that, and whoop, 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 if you do this, and I'm gonna do that. It was a lot of threats and a lot of aggressive language. And I was like, bro, I'm trying to tell you, I'm not playing with you about that money. You understand what I'm saying? Let me show you this. Because if you don't give me my money, what I'm gonna do is start releasing the PDFs to all of your books, like your original PDFs. I'm gonna just start releasing them online for free.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on the computer and sent a message on Facebook through the computer so that he would see that I wasn't playing. And so from there, the conversation got a little bit more aggressive. But once he saw that I wasn't paying attention to that, and I was like, bro, I'm going to just say this one last time, and then I'm going to stop taking your phone calls. Work on getting me that money. I'm about to release these books. So then he called me back with a whole new different type of conversation. Very nice and understanding. And listen, I don't really have the money. When I was on my way down to Florida, the truck we was driving in exploded. I had to buy a new truck. On the way down there, the engine burned out and blew up on the highway. And whole long story. And he's like,
you serious?
I kid you not.
Wow.
I'm talking about, when I say I'm not smudging one detail, anybody that was close around at the time. In fact, it was a bunch of people that invested in that whole adventure. So those people will remember all of the events of this story. And so, anyway, he finally says, all right, cool. I'm going to pay you back in pieces. You know what I'm saying? And by the time he made the second or third payment, you know what I'm saying? Then I gave him back his laptop. You know what I'm saying? But there was no, like, I stole his laptop and, whoop, whoop, I was extorting. No. That was simply collateral. Like, when you do real business, you make a loan, there's collateral. You don't pay back the loan, they foreclose on the collateral. Like, you lose the collateral. It's leveraged debt.
So according to him, how did you get the laptop, did he ever go public and talk about how you got it? Did he corroborate the story of the landlord thing, or he said something different?
No, he wouldn't corroborate that story because
No.
that would be a negative, it would be a negative story to his image.
Yeah.
So, when him and Sonetta put out a negative story on me, the story went out that somehow I muscled into the crib and took the laptop, and I was scared of his muscle, so I gave back the laptop. Now, it's so many holes in that story. It's like, why would I steal a laptop with no buttons on it?
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't work. It would serve me no value. You
So
see what I'm
how how was you able to go on it and work it?
Oh, because you can I had a bunch of MacBooks. You
Oh,
know what I'm
okay.
saying? So when they get old, the old ones anyway, the keyboards would go. So you just get a separate keyboard that you could plug into the USB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how they was using it, plugged into the printer, and so I just plugged in a keyboard to the side of it just to let them know.
So give me a time frame, because I remember seeing videos with you have on a New Covenant shirt. Y'all was in videos together at one point. Is this before all of this or after this?
No, this is why I'm showing you. This is why I took you to his page so you can see the timeline. This is way before any of the experiences that people currently, this is way before any of that.
So y'all was cool, and then this thing happened.
Right. This is just the intelligent young brother that looked like his sky is the limit.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So when the situation happens and he starts paying me my money back and I give him the laptop back, that's the end of the story.
Y'all never rocked again after that?
I ain't hear you. What you saying?
Did y'all never was cool again and did nothing again after that, after the laptop?
Yeah, it got squashed, water under the bridge. I mean, it wasn't much that he could be angry with me about.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He told me to meet him in Brooklyn at a certain time and then peeled out with my bread. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened that the landlord let me in because I was coming there so frequently. He knew my face. And from his interactions, he apparently had lost some money through him too.
The point I'm asking you is that, and I want to know, many people want to know, after these interactions and you seen what type of person he was, what made you still rock with him after that, though?
He paid me back.
So it was just a money thing, but you already seen that his character didn't turn you off where you say, all right, I got my money, but I just need to leave you alone. You didn't, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people say that, but no, I didn't because he's just he's charismatic in the word. He's very good with words, and he paid me back my money.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So he said he was going to give me back my money. He gave me back my money. Okay, cool. Time went by though. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely some time that went by. But maybe a year or two went by, and then okay, cool. We it's we for the work and the good of the people and that whole, but that narrative was never killed.
Gotcha.
Like I impersonated his wife and all that. Like when I see that narrative still pop back up, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so that narrative was still circulating. He was supposed to take care of that. That was a part of our conversation when I gave him back his computer. Or before that, when he even agreed to pay me back the money in pieces, I was like, yeah, but you got to go back on there because, the wife kind of hit the web, a little frantic, and y'all put out that narrative, you're going to have to retract that story. You know what I'm saying? But I see now that it wasn't retracted or wasn't retracted thoroughly.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? And now that I see hindsight 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I see what's going on with the platforms, you know what I'm saying? And I see that people was paying platforms to keep me off the platforms. creating negative narratives to keep me off the platform. What do you think they was trying so hard to get you on the phone for, to get my phone number?
I honestly, for real, I be for the peace. So, anytime dudes could build, I don't know, because a lot of this is, I don't have this information. I don't know what's going on with a lot
Nobody
of
has
stuff. Yeah.
information.
Nobody, I don't know what's going on. So I just know what this person say. So I could just say, yo, Enq, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pass you this guy's number. This person wants your number, but I'm not gonna give it to them. But here goes their number. And I just pass the messages, and that's really it. You know what I'm saying? And I be trying to be the peacemaker sometimes, but sometimes it be beyond me, or it's not even beef. It's just sometimes everybody just go their own
No,
way.
see, and this is not beef. I don't want people to misconstrue it. This is just me clarifying, like just me standing in my truth. So if I stand in my truth and that offends other people, that's more a reflection of their character than mine. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I'm just going back to, so you can see this is what I'm doing standing on stage. Like, you don't come stand on stage at somebody else's event.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? You just don't do that. Like, that's just not mannerly. You don't come stand on stage at somebody else's event. You see what I'm saying? I'm there the entire event like that, on and off the stage, because it's my event as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Because I paid for it. You understand what I mean?
Got you.
So it's not a matter of a question or wondering what's what, or is this factual or whatever. Like, nah, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when I bust past King Simon like that and just brushed him off, so Polight, get your man, that created a little negative energy right there that never went away between me and Simon. And then later on, as me and Abundance Child relationship, our friendship grew, Simon felt a certain type of way, and so that festered in him.
Mm-hmm.
So when they was colluding to keep me off the platforms, you know what I'm saying? Like it's an insanity going on over there. Like, these guys with these platforms think that the platform, it's almost like music business. Like, the record labels think they make the artists.
So you saying people really paid somebody money to say, don't post Enqi video,
Yeah.
don't have them on it. How can you prove that? Because that just sounds crazy. Like, how can you prove that?
I cannot prove.
Okay.
But it was proved to me because the person showed me the text messages.
Okay.
And the person that paid and the person that showed me the text messages is definitely going to probably be the number 1 and number 2 views when this go out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they may start damage, like, but it's nothing they could say to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the minds of the people can be confused that's on the outside looking in. But at this point, the minds of the people have been so confused for so long, it's cool. It's just time for me to sit the clean glass of water next to the dirty glass and let the people decide.
So it's 2019. We maybe 2 weeks or a week away from 2020.
Yeah.
Clear vision. Where do you stand with Brother Polight at this current time? What is y'all current relationship?
I mean, we cool. You know what I'm saying? Long ago, when after these situations occurred, I learned back then I can still be cool with somebody without doing business with them.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you notice, you hear a lot of stories about people having friendships, and then once they do business, the friendship dissolves.
Mm-hmm.
So once I learned, okay, outside of business, because through this process, my children got cool with his children, my wife got cool with his wife. Like, other shit's going on in the process of this. Real life is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy for me to sit back and not do any business. Like, the people that joined New Covenant, just because you joined New Covenant didn't mean that you were doing business.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So when people look back, they're like, oh, well, you was doing business. Nah, no, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
Red Pill, Blue Pill, Brother Rich. You know what I'm saying? All of these people had on New Covenant garments. Like people just ask me these questions as if they got an altered memory.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. I never even noticed that. I just remember you. I looked at you.
Right? No.
Yeah,
Listen, what I told you, I've been giving cats the Mandela effect. Once
yeah.
these facts in front of people, they go back and they like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I remember, because I just remember you and Polight, like Batman and Robin, and you know, y'all was damn near two peas in a pod, which is a good thing because I felt like a lot of times when y'all was giving the information, it was powerful, but you also take on any, you know, beef he got and vice versa. So when people were feeling a way about, go ahead.
But when people don't know, like I said, a lot of time that this is going on, it's leveraged debt.
Mm.
So I'm realizing I have to stay close to my investment and watch my investment. So as money is made, I can be right there, like, oh yeah, that's mine right there. Let me get there. Let me get that right.
Give me my
Man, let me get that right on about you. Let me get that before you even get to disappear. As soon as you count the door, let me grab that right up. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me get that. All right. Let me take it back up to the Bronx now.
So it had to be a particular point where shout out to Sarnetta, but it had to be a particular point when you and him was cool or decent, and then y'all are not all that cool or fly anymore.
Not cool, me and Sarnetta.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily a time when you cool or decent or like I'm always respectful.
But you're not. But this is what I'm saying, right?
But
Nobody
it's
could pay Doggie Diamonds to keep somebody off my platform, right? Nobody can do that, right? And if I find that, well, if an individual, like say somebody was saying, if I found that somebody was paying somebody to keep me off of a certain platform that I think I needed to be on for my business, my brand, and I'm not going to be cool with that person ever again. Also, I'm not going to be cool with the person who took the money. So this is what I'm saying. How will
right.
you how will you at this particular time? You find out that certain individuals are spending this bread to keep you off it, but then also individuals are taking the bread to keep you off it.
I had to be spooked that sat by the door.
Mm.
I had to be spooked that sat by the door because at least with this information and being close, you know how they say you keep your friends close to your enemies even closer.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be close so I could see what's going on. So at least I could say, all right, cool. If niggas don't want to fuck with me because they believe in me with the information or because um, you know, they believe in what I'm doing or the information or friendship or coolness or whatever, that's cool. At least I know where I stand. No problem. I'll make the donation. Yeah. Take 75, take 100, put my video up. Take 50, take 75, take 100, put my video up. Yeah, put my video up. Put my video up.
Mm-hmm.
Once my videos go up, now I can do my business. You know what I'm saying? And people are seeing me and they're seeing me on these platforms next to other people on these platforms, but they don't know the dynamics of what we did to get on those platforms.
Got you.
So those platforms are investing in the other people on the platforms. For me, it's different. I'm investing in the platform to get on the platform because I believe in the people. And I'm so full of belief in myself, like I will always bet on me.
Got you.
When it comes down to the situation of, I'm like, nah, as long as this information get out to the people know what's what. And what I'm doing is scientifically backed. Whenever I put up anything about any herbs, I always show people clinical documentation.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that once the information reaches the people going to decide. So it's just a matter of understanding, okay, cool. You know, all right, okay, yeah, this is how this is going. Okay, cool. I'm learning the game, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, this is just how the game go.
Got you. So, but again, so keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's a key word in that passage. Enemies. This is what I'm saying. How?
Well, when it comes to Sarnetta, it's not a secret amongst the people on the inside that Sarnetta never really fucked with me like that.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? It only looks different from the outside because people see me on the platform for so long.
So you're
But
saying the only reason why you've been on there wasn't because you was a special invite, not because y'all did content, you and him. It was because you paid your way.
correct.
Okay. And then one time I seen you on there,
Hold on.
you and Brother Malik was going back and forth. I seen you on there one time with that.
Correct. Because I was defending Dr. York and Polight from Malik, and Malik was attacking Sonetta, Polight, Dr. York, etc. So he threw me into that boat, which you don't see before the camera starts recording.
Okay.
So before the camera starts recording, he comes up and says, "You pseudo because you're down with Dr. York and you're down with Polight, etc., etc., etc." I'm saying, bro, you don't know me. So me and him go back and forth. Sonetta runs to go get the camera out the car, turns the camera on the car, and all it catches is, me, quote unquote, defending Polight and Dr. York. But that's not really the whole nature of the video.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But from the point where he runs to the car and grabs the camera, that's just how it's caught and framed. But the footage works for him because I'm defending, quote unquote, what looks like the platform, so to speak. But I'm really just defending myself.
Got you.
You understand what I'm saying? But when you have that type of, when you have that, like somebody asked me from the chat on my platform, they said, yo, how long have you been going at it with this Ankh guy and the rest of these guys? And I said, ever since I first spoke. So this has probably been me going back and forth with them 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Like this is as long as because when you have a fighting network, right? When it's Roman entertainment, you have to have your lions, and then you have to have the guys you throw down in there to the lions. So there was plenty of times when he thought, Sonetta specifically thought, that he was positioning me for Ankh and his home team to be able to come and just totally debunk him. But every time they came to me, especially Ankh, who could barely read.
What?
Especially Ankh, who can barely read.
Okay.
Like I have the clips of him barely being able to read. So even that, when I say that, it sounds like a shot. Like, oh man, Enqi shooting at Ankh. Nah, I got the clips up that I can show on my IG. I can show the clips. I could give you a clip to put in this video from, well, you don't put the videos on your video.
Yeah.
But the clips is up where he could barely read. You're going to put yourself in a conundrum. He's trying to say conundrum, but he's saying conundrum because he can't read what's on the screen in front of him. We talking about DNA and viruses. He like, well, the preservation of the viral contaminant. I'm like, wait a minute. The word is preservation. You can't even read what you're saying right there. You can't even read what you're trying to say. And so this is why there was plenty of times I was like, yo, why don't you just debate Ankh? And I'm like, I've been debating Ankh for 7, 8 years. Ankh is not in my weight class. He can't even understand the words I'm saying to him. But in his mind, he didn't know the information either. Sonetta. So he didn't know which side of the arguments were correct or not. He was just profiting off of the actual argument taking place. So this is why when I see this latest vaccine thing, this latest vaccine thing got me so mad. Because I just been sitting back not saying nothing at all of the BS that's going on all this time. But then something dawns on me. I'm like, wait a minute. So I create this vaccine conversation. I get this vaccine conversation popping. I get this whole idea of a debate popping going on. And then what you do after I destroy on this subject is you try to go find somebody else to create a way to monetize a conversation I started. And then I'm looking back at a pattern. See, hindsight 2020. So when I look back at the pattern, I say, you know what? it's time for me to make a clean break.
So where you stand right now, you don't want to be affiliated with anybody inside of
That platform, absolutely not.
okay. Is it any other
Or richest platform.
okay. So when you say richest platform, everybody that's on the platform, or is just rich? What do you mean? Like
Well,
specify that.
whenever you hear Rich speak, whatever words Rich is saying is basically Rich speaks Sonetta's words. Rich is Sonetta's son.
Okay.
So Rich, it seems like it's just like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. It's really the same drink.
Got you. And this feeling is stemming from where
No, it's not a feeling. It's just I know where I'm headed and what my future looks like.
got you.
So I don't want to be linked with people that will put Ankh up to represent an entire community. When Dr. Sebi goes to jail, risks his life to deliver a certain type of message to the people. See, for most people, they're brushing it off because it's not that important for them. But this, I live this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's a lot of people that really is about that life. So when you put Ankh up, right, somebody that can barely read, to represent,
You keep saying that.
it's a fact though,
Okay.
represent a whole history. Like you when you put him up to debate Western academia,
Mm-hmm.
and put him as the representative of the conscious community, the people from outside of our circles, they don't know who's who and what's what.
Mm-hmm.
So now Ankh gets to represent Jewel Pulcrum. He gets to represent Layla Africa. He gets to represent Mama Pill. He gets to represent, you understand what I'm saying? He gets to represent Dr. Sebi. This is the conscious community. This is your pro-black. This is your sub. Your this is your group right here.
But in accordance to Uncle, me watching him and knowing him, he would consider all of them to be pseudo anyway, though, right? So he doesn't represent them.
Nah, but see, that's that game of being inside the community. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, inside the community, we know he don't represent us.
Okay. So you're saying the outsiders looking just think that
this is exported to the world.
Mm-hmm.
See, we having a small view of this. This is exported to the world. The conscious community is a percent of a percent of a percent. The world at large considers this like a little niche subculture. A little trendy niche subculture. This is not so when people from John Q. Public, 9 to 5ers, right, when they look at this, they like, oh, okay, well, yeah, the doctors and the scientists came in there and washed them. They're idiots. Like your man literally stood up and said, if you take away the vaccines, what are we going to do when we get sick? The doctor looked over at him and was like, I don't know. Try your own immune system. Like that's a slap in the face to everything that we've been trying to build and establish.
Got you.
And not just in the health community. Not just in the health community. I'm talking about the entirety for the conscious community, because the conscious community does not include the Nation of Islam. It doesn't include, Dr. York and them. They had their own movements. The conscious community more so started with, Bobby Hemmett and Phil Valentine. And, that's kind of where what we call the conscious community today began.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at this exported out to the world and you go back beyond the conscious community, this is not how we represented ourselves. This is not how Khalid Muhammad looked on stage with Phil Donahue.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? This is not how Malcolm X looked when they put the microphone in his face. So now we're looking at a situation where we're seeing that the conscious community, like I keep seeing these questions that's ridiculous. Does the Bible help Black people? Does the Quran help Black people? Does being Muslim help Black people? The real question that should be debated is the conscious community helping Black people? Are the two platforms that keep trying to mask and groom and guide the direction of the conscious community and keep the conscious community divided? Is that helping the conscious community? Is keeping the Muslims attacking the Hebrew Israelites while the Hebrew Israelites attack the Kemetic brothers, while all of those people attack the vegans and the people who are into herbs and holistic health? Like, is keeping everybody divided, is that helping the community?
In your opinion,
The old divide and conquer routine,
yeah.
if you ask me.
In your opinion, what is the conscious community like? I'm I think at one point I thought we had a definitive answer. Like, yo, the conscious community to me was everybody that was striving for knowledge of self, or people who had knowledge of self, or we just get together and build, trade ideas and information. That's what I thought it was. And then it became a point to where, oh, I don't like them. So now we just got beef, or, oh, I don't like their information. So now we just got beef, or, yo, if interracial dating, yo, you can't be it just became, yo, everything was strife. Everything was strife. The information always took a back seat to, I don't like your information.
Right, because there's a handful of people that monetized chaos. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
This is why me and some like me, right? We're on the outskirts. We're the other guys, right? Because in order for me as a holistic practitioner to do any business, somebody has to get smarter. Somebody has to learn something. People have to come together. There has to be cohesion. Someone has to get healed. Their health has to get better. Someone has to improve. But that's not what the majority of the framework of the quote unquote conscious community is made up as. The conscious community now, as controlled by these two platforms, only benefits from chaos, keeping people divided in order that we can bash and personally attack one another, right? So I have said nothing here that is of the personal nature to attack anybody's family life or anything that's not business that was done to me or I've seen firsthand.
So
Now,
so we talk about
just like the last video, hold on,
uh-huh.
Dougie, just like the last video,
Uh-huh.
you see there's all kinds of personal attacks on
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um I will say this. I look at Sonetta's platform. If I didn't say I did, I'm lying. I watch it every day. I watch almost every video. It's something that he brought to us that was needed at the time that it came. Sometimes I find myself defending him a little bit, because when you get a big platform, right? You sometimes you don't know it's gonna be that big, right? Now you get caught up in your business, you get caught up in the people, and you get caught up in your lifestyle, your information, and now what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep everybody happy. But when you make everybody else happy, who suffers? You understand what I'm saying?
But and that's a nice way to view things.
But we can't act like we didn't get no information from his platform.
A parachute out the burning plane. But that's obviously not the reality of what we see going on.
But we can't really sit here and say, Enqi, we never got no information from his platform.
No, listen, what we see is, or for the person that may not know much,
Damn, nah.
I'm serious, but for the people that know, like serious, like what kind of information could I gain, or anybody that's well-rounded in studying, from hearing people that could barely read debate whether the Bible is real or not?
I mean, I see when I
Like the arguments that are being had over there is uh, redundant at best, right? So first there was a 2 to 3 year battle to prove that the Bible is actually a copy of the walls of Kemet. Now the same platform is saying that the white man wrote the Bible. So did the white man write the Bible, or is the Bible a copy from the walls in Kemet? Or is the next thing going to be, after they prove a white man wrote the Bible, is the next thing going to be that the Kemetics, the Egyptians, were actually white folks? Like, it's just a matter of keeping chaos going. And when there's no human to create strife and chaos with that's alive, like there's nobody around to personally attack, we will go and dig up people from the grave and begin to attack people that are no longer alive. This is what happened with Dr. Sebi. This is what happened with Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi is already transitioned, and none of these people was trying to quote unquote debunk Dr. Sebi when he was here. But the same platform led the brigade against Dr. Sebi, inadvertently attacking everybody else that's practicing the holistic lifestyle. Now, we done moved off Sebi. We getting ready to dig up Malcolm X out the grave and start attacking Malcolm X. Because there's nobody left alive to debunk. We done debunked everybody around, including each other. So now we're getting ready to start debunking people that are no longer here.
I see your point.
At what point do we say, let's create cohesion and constructive building? See, this is why I have to be censored. This is why there has to be a filter put on me.
This is no filter.
With this conversation, some people gonna go, oh my God, Enqi is telling everything.
Yeah.
Man, Enqi ain't even Enqi ain't even get started. This is all clean and upstairs.
So going forward, what do you suggest? If you was to build a platform, because you also have to understand, we live in a society where this is a market, right? Chaos is the biggest market. You know, everybody films the train wreck. Nobody films the nobody does mouth to mouth. Nobody calls the ambulance. Everybody films the train wreck, and it's marketable. Unfortunately, I'm not co-signing it. I'm not saying it's cool, but this is what it's all about. Within chaos, dudes are really paying their bills from chaos. And like I said, for me, a lot of things on Sanetta's platform, where I'm at with my knowledge, I know a lot of it. I read a lot of it, seen a lot of it. You know, I'm not 22 years old, so a lot of the books that they reading from, I know.
Wait, let me stop you right there, because you made like 5 or 6 statements in once, and
Okay.
I addressed last 2 and start talking on those and then get the other ones.
Okay.
So, where you from? Consciousness was about knowledge of self.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
Okay. So let's start with what knowledge of self really is. And we're going to go beyond the 120.
Okay.
Right? Because the first thing I saw with the 120, right? Because I was taught with the 120 and about Egypt and masonry and all of these things from birth. So when I got older, my love of science, the first correlation I saw was that there was 120 possible electrons in an atom's valence.
You know, I don't have no idea what the hell you're talking about. But go ahead. Yeah.
Look at an atom. There are charges that circulate around that atom.
Okay.
The maximum number was 120.
Okay.
Now, atoms are what come together to make all of the compounds and molecules that exist, that we're all made of atoms.
Facts. Okay.
Right? So at a maximum, you have 120 electrons or possible ways to quantify the charge density of what an atom is. So immediately I made that connection to the 120. I said, oh, okay, so this is the extent of knowledge.
Got you.
So when I look at knowledge of self is exactly what it is. It's knowledge of self.
Got
so
you.
If I'm teaching biochemistry, which is the full actual manifestation of knowledge of self, and you are actively putting together a campaign of people to block that,
Mm-hmm.
and not just block that, but persuade people otherwise. To put a 10-year campaign together to say that we are monkeys, we are apes,
Got you.
right? Um, we come from beasts.
The great ape. Yeah, the great ape.
We need vaccines for our body to be healthy. Like, this is that cascade of information, and it's always been directed against me from the gate. And so at this point, what I'm saying is there's no reason to there's no reason to be there's no reason to be fake with it. Like, all right, cool. Y'all don't fuck with me. I don't fuck with y'all.
Uh-huh.
Like let's just make that plain. So as the world associates what just happened in New York, the nuclear bomb that was just dropped in New York, that vaccine debate, as they associate that with the conscious community, I do not want them to associate that with me. I was the guy that made the case that Dr. Sebi should have got the Nobel Peace Prize, because there was some white gentleman that got the Nobel Peace Prize right after he got locked up for exactly what he always taught. There was a couple of white gentlemen, I forgot the guy's name, that was the lead scientist, but they got the Nobel Peace Prize for quote unquote discovering a molecule called carbon 60. Carbon 60 is a form of carbon that's a super powerful antioxidant that helps the body reverse cancers and the whole program.
Uh-huh.
Every single claim that we heard Dr. Sebi make, these guys got a Nobel Peace Prize for carbon 60. And Dr. Sebi got put in court and in jail.
Hmm. Also, oh yeah. Why are you
So
saying that?
that kind of dynamic go on. And then in 2019, we still have guys using platforms to block information, and to promote that we are monkeys, we're apes, we're a mutation. Vaccines are the only way we could be healthy on a planet that we've been on for X amount. Like, huh? Nah. And if you're going to continue to do that, and you're going to continue to promote that while simultaneously blocking the real information from coming through, I just don't want to be associated with that. It's cool. Like, it's not beef. It's cool. I just want to make sure that the receipts is there. Like, nah, Enqi said clearly he's not a part of that. Enqi's not a part. Ankh, the Amun Ra Squad, and the platforms that propped them up do not represent me. I'm not a part of that. I'm with the other guys. You know, whatever the other thing is, that's me. I'm over there with the other guys, right?
You
In
know they're gonna
fact,
say you with the pseudos.
that's fine. Listen, that's fine, because a guy that can barely read is the one who coined that term. So when a guy that could barely read creates the term pseudo and puts the term pseudo on using herbs to heal people that are sick, right? I know that anybody that repeats that language is also just as illiterate as he is, because 90% of the medicines that are synthesized by the pharmaceutical industry comes from the forest, the soil, and the jungle. But these people are not that fast to understand that. They're not fast enough. They don't stay in the studio long enough. You understand what I'm saying? See, I liken the studio to the library. They don't stay in the studio long enough to go blow for blow with me with this information. So this is where it turns into personal shots and you know, under the belt foolishness, and oh yeah, well, he got gold teeth and I heard he stole Polight laptop, bro. Laptop, man. How I'm driving everybody back and forth to the lecture, but I'm stealing a laptop. That don't make no sense. I'm paying for the lectures. I'm not even supporting by buying a little $5 thing here and there. I'm actually getting venues so that the lectures can happen. But I have a family, so when the money don't come back right, I have to do what needs to be done so I can make sure I get my return from my investment.
Got you. So so I know you're not mad at this. The people might enjoy it. We got to do a part 3 because we at the hour mark. I feel like, I feel like we whoa yeah you might get some response videos from this. I mean that's not my intention, but you know people have the right to rebut. People have the right to say what they want to say.
People can say anything they want to say.
Yeah.
They
And
just, hold on. Let me say this.
go ahead.
People have already been saying whatever they wanted to say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? See, listen, here's the thing that happens. If you don't watch the main 2 platforms, people don't know what's going on.
Got you.
This is why, like when the vaccine went down, I showed people the video. I said, listen, all you have to do is type in Enqi versus Ankh, the video that started the entire great vaccine debate.
Got
You
you.
could go right to that video and see what happened. You could go right to that video and see what happened. Like it's up. The videos are still up. We live in a world of digital footprint.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a matter of me making things up. Like when people say, "Oh, what you talking about with swag and what suits and hard bottoms and gaiters and what you talking about?" I just pulled up the clips so you can see. Look, here's me. here's me. GQ. Look, and it's not about me twisting something or trying to make nothing up. When you're around people for a long time, everybody learns dirt about other people. We're not perfect. So this is not a slander campaign, or it would be crazy. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? This is just me stating a fact and having to clean up shit 7, 8, 9 years later that obviously should have been taken care of on the other end.
Yeah, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. Again, I told you in the last video when I looked at you originally, and I think when the masses of people look at you, you're just the guy that used to be with this guy that did this to these people. So you down with this, and you know everything that took place, and you were doing it too, because you selling people herbs. You done gave people died off your water. You just so that's what we did in the.
And this is why I'm like, we gotta walk through this because
Yeah, exactly.
There's nobody that died off any water. There's nobody that got
You
any
killed
kids.
they said you killed a little girl, man. I was like, yo, Enqi killed the little girl with some water.
Listen, you know what day and age we live in?
Yeah.
I would be doing like 10 life sentences if that was the case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we leave a digital footprint. That would be easily provable and verifiable. It wouldn't have been no hearsay. It would have been go. But now, let me tell you something before we go.
Mm-hmm.
People tell me, because I have brothers and sisters that's in the military, and they're like, bro, you know, you throwing these indictments around about brothers that's in the military. You know, some of us is conscious and we support and boom, boom, boom. And I don't mean to make it sound like a blanket indictment, but when I have this guy from the military try to shut us down with the water company, go behind my back down in North Carolina, try to buy the company when that don't work, create a slander campaign. I go, oh, damn, he's a military boy. Then I find out Ankh is from, let me show, hold on. Before we go, hold on. Because I don't want people to be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just a matter of, let's do this.
Hope no porn don't pop up or nothing.
Anything liable to pop up nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this, right? Fort Detrick, right?
Uh-huh.
So when I see something like this, right? It's not, when I keep having problems back to back with these guys that's in the military, you know, and they trying to create these narratives, it's not far-fetched for me to say, yo, maybe something's going on. Especially when you put the information in front of a guy and I find out, okay, so you from out here, Fort Detrick, Maryland. We all know where Ankh is from. This is where you served at, right? And then we find out this was the center of the U.S. biological weapons program from 1943 to 1969, right? We find out that, let's go down a little bit deeper. right? Where you at? We find out this is the headquarters for Merck, the vaccine company, right? The same vaccine company he keeps pumping the vaccines on us for. Okay, bam, right here, look. During World War II, Camp Dietrich and the USBWL became the site of intensive biological warfare research using various pathogens. The research was originally overseen by pharmaceuticals executive George W. Merck and for many years was conducted by Ira Baldwin, blah, blah, blah. And so it continues to go on and tell you that this became the headquarters for Merck.
Mm.
Now let's tap on George W. Merck and see who this is. George Merck, blah, 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 was the president of Merck and Co. from 1925 to 1950 and member of Merck family. So this is not me making up stuff. I'm like, hold on. When we present all the facts to you, that shows to you that, and I'm not even one of these anti-vax people. I don't go as hard as them. I'm just presenting the facts to you, showing, okay, yo, listen, there's been quite a few people that's been injured by vaccines.
Yeah, we discussed that in the last video. Yeah.
Yeah, and I showed the statistics. You know what I'm saying? So when I show you all the information, and then you're still continuing to blindly promote it, and I go, okay, well, hold on. You're from Fort, you from over here. Okay, well, wait a minute. Maybe there's something else going on. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it's something else going on.
So you fly, basically you saying here, agent, keep it a buck. Is what you saying.
No. It's not what I'm saying now. Like I've been saying.
Okay, all right.
Because you can't continue to promote misinformation to the people without having an agenda.
Gotcha.
Especially if the information is easily verifiable. So if we can verify the information, if you're telling people that taking herbs, plants to heal your body and improve your health is pseudo, I have to ask myself, what type of agenda that you have where you benefit from telling people that plants improves their health? Like you're benefiting from stopping people from telling people that plants improves their health. You have a vested interest somehow in stopping that information from being disseminated. It was a whole full-scale attack on Dr. Sebi. A full-scale attack on Dr. Sebi.
After he passed.
Just this past year. That's where the
vaccine
shit, the whole vaccine thing. Listen, the 4-hour video is still available. In the beginning piece of the video got deleted. You know what I'm saying? But the 4-hour shit is still up. I don't know if one of the haters or something grabbed the beginning, but all that's up there, and the whole conversation was, are you telling us that herbs and being vegan, herbs and a plant-based diet is better than taking vaccines? If herbs and plants help to heal people, then we wouldn't need to take vaccines. And since we need to take vaccines, obviously herbs and plants, it does no good. It's all pseudo. Dr. Sebi is pseudo. And this is not something that Sinetta was disconnected from on his platform. Sinetta was also promoting it together with Ankh and with somebody else on the platform that was saying if he drinks a gallon of Coca-Cola, his blood pH level will still be fine.
Who drinks a gallon of Coca-Cola?
He said he could drink a gallon. Listen to me. If you just don't want to put the video,
Yeah. They could go, but this is the reason good enough for them to follow you and see you got all of this proof. You know what I'm saying? So they could go right from here. Your name and your YouTube and everything is in the description box. They go right to you.
I could drink a gallon of Coca-Cola. I could drink a gallon of Coca-Cola and my blood pH would still be fine. And so you're promoting this kind of conversation to people, making us look like buffoons. So you've grown a platform, and I won't even say grown a platform because the people who are on the platform creating the content is what grows the platform. It's not the guy that holds the camera.
Gotcha.
It's the people that's in front of the camera that's creating the content.
Gotcha.
So it's a partnership. You film, you editing, you showcasing, but it's the talent in front. Like, you know, Jazzy Jeff said, artists have made songs without record labels, but record labels have never made songs without artists.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I got to look at it and say, okay, well, there's no reason for me to dance around this when every time my name is brought up, it's crazy. And it's based on a bunch of shit that's not even in reality. And now you got this situation where you're making the entire lineage of the holistic community look like buffoons. Nah, that's not what we're doing. Nipsey Hussle just transitioned. We're just trying to represent Nipsey Hussle after Dr. Sebi passed and put something together, and then you go ahead and put that out. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, that just can't fly. And everybody's running around scared to say something like, yeah, well, you know, I'm scared to say something because I talk to some of these people that's on these platforms. And a lot of the people that's on the platforms feel away, but they feel like if they say something, then they won't be able to come back on the platform.
Wow.
But that's why I said I don't care about that, because the platforms don't bring me out for lectures. They don't promote me. I don't do business generated off these platforms. So I don't have a vested interest in not saying what's actually going on, like what we all can clearly see.
Got you. All right. So we this is Dr. Enqi, got it right. His YouTube link will be in the description box, as well as his Instagram. We're gonna do a third and final part because I gotta ask him some other questions, and we're gonna these two. Listen,
at some point I gotta get to teaching, man.
No, we're gonna do that. But you had to. But listen, you had to, and I think it took 2 videos because we had to go through different subjects of you clearing what you feel like is your name. I had to ask you questions about what people were feeling, what came to me in different situations, and some of the questions that I had. Now that I feel like we did that, and whatever they rebut, but I feel like part 3, now I can ask you some of the questions that I want to know for my learning purposes, and I think some of the information people want to know, and then we'll figure out later on in the future where you could go. So this is end up being a 3-part series. It's supposed to be 1 interview, but it would have been 6 hours.
Right, and people got this idea in their mind, like, yeah, he was extorting Brother Polight and who? Nah, man, that furthest from the truth. But just a matter of leveraging debt, using collateral to get your money back. You know what I mean? So you can.
So all right. In closing, you didn't steal his laptop per se. It was given to you by the landlord who had similar dealings with him, and and you kept it. Okay. All right. So that's what it is. I'm Doggie Diamonds. This is Dr. Enqi. Like I said, if you want to stay in contact with him, all of his information. Go ahead.
Funny. You can barely keep it together.
I mean, yo, man, is some of this stuff is just so, it's just so crazy to me. And
listen, let me tell you something to keep it a buck. This is why a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, it just people not ready for it to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Because when they come in front of the camera, it's just like, that don't match the persona we got from. That don't match the persona we got from. You know what I mean? Like,
truthfully, it never does though. And a lot of times, I think people become personality worships. They worship personality. So when they like the person, it doesn't matter what the person do. The person can't do no wrong because they like the person. So anybody that speaks against the person that they like, you're a hater. That's what happens. You know. So the truth could be right in people's face, but if they love the person that you're speaking the truth about, then there's nothing you can say.
Right. And it's like, bro, this now people may feel like, oh, well, you're dissing the debate platforms or whatever. Nah, I'm dissing the way those platforms have dealt with me. I'm not even dissing. I'm just making it plain how I feel about how those platforms have dealt with me.
Got you.
It's a personal attack on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't personally attack anybody. This is just facts. I could just state my piece. You see what I'm saying? And walk in my truth.
Got you.
You know what I mean? And like I said, if my truth hurts somebody else's feelings, then that speaks more to your character than mine.
And on that note, yo, I'm Doggie Diamonds. This is Doggie Diamonds TV. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Watch the last video. Watch this video. It's gonna be another one coming, which we probably do in another 2 days. Y'all all Christmas eat out and ho 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 and all that stuff. This is Dr. Enqi. I'm Doggie Diamonds. Thank you to
No
all the
filter.
subscribers. No filter, you know what I'm saying?
No filter.
So I let him like I said, he has his own platform, but his platform is not where he felt like he can get his voice out to the masses.
Well, on my platform, I don't get any of that energy.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like the people that come to my platform, it's all love.
Got you.
And it's only when I move around outside to where other people are. So I'm like, okay, so cool. If this is where the negative energy is, let me come meet this energy head on right here where it's at. So people get a better understanding of who I am.
Got
you know what
you.
I'm saying? Like right where it is, you meet it head on. You know what I'm saying? And then whatever that go to, that's just what that go to.
Got you. All right, so yo, we out. We'll set up the next in like another 2 days. We'll be right back. I want y'all to marinate on this. Give me some comments. Give me some feedback. Hit him up on Instagram. Hit him up on his YouTube. And that's what it is. Doggie Diamonds. We out here. Enqi, I'll call you in a little while.
No filter.
Peace.